There are three types of people in this world: predators, prey, and the ones who blend in diggy enough to decide which one they want to become. Machiavelli didn't care much for morality. What he cared about was leverage, the quiet, invisible string that decides who controls the room and who gets played. If you're walking through life with certain weaknesses, even subtle ones, you're not just vulnerable, you're marked. The game sees you before you even know you're playing it. And worst of all, these weaknesses don't look like weaknesses. They often look like virtue. They look like kindness, openness, humility. But to a Machiavellian mind, they're nothing but signals. This person is safe to manipulate. This person won't fight back. This person is prey. So let's begin with the first of the three fatal flaws, the one that instantly draws manipulators to you like vultures circling a dying animal: the need to be understood. Most people crave understanding. They want to be seen, heard, validated. They believe that if they can just explain themselves well enough, others will finally respect them. But here's the Machiavellian truth. The more you try to explain yourself, the weaker you look, because every explanation you give is an admission that your value is up for debate, that your truth needs justification, that you need their approval to exist as you are. And once someone senses that you need to be understood, they now have a hook into your psyche. They know how to control you. All they have to do is withhold that validation, and you'll crumble. You'll chase it, beg for it, keep talking, over-explaining, venting, confessing. Meanwhile, they're doing nothing but watching and learning. Every word you give them is a map to your emotional core. Machiavelli would say that power is in mystery. It's in silence. The moment you become emotionally transparent, you lose your edge. This doesn't mean you should never express emotion, but it means you must train your nervous system to survive without being seen. Not everyone deserves access to your raw truth, and most people will use it against you. To flip the dynamic, never explain yourself. Let your presence be the explanation. Don't rush to correct false assumptions. Let them misunderstand. Speak less, watch more, and give people the space to reveal themselves. When you stop trying to be understood, people will start trying to understand you. And now you hold the power. Now to the second weakness, the one most people will defend to the death because they think it's noble. The fear of being seen as bad. This is one of the most manipulated fears in the world, and Machiavelli knew it. People don't act out of reason. They act out of fear. And one of the most primal fears we have is the fear of social rejection. The fear of being called rude, selfish, mean, arrogant, or cruel. You've been trained since birth to be nice, be polite, be agreeable. Don't make people uncomfortable. Don't stand out too much. Whoa, don't say no too harshly. Don't be bad. But the people who rise to power are the ones who can tolerate being disliked. The ones who don't need everyone's approval. The ones who can be seen as the villain and stay calm. Because if someone senses that you're afraid of being disliked, they can use it. They'll guilt you, shame you, pressure you, and manipulate your decisions. They'll say things like, "Oh wow, I didn't expect that from you," or "That's not very nice of you," And if you flinch, if you shrink just once, you're cooked. Machiavelli would say that if you must choose between being feared or loved, choose fear. Because love is conditional. Fear keeps people in line. But in your world, it doesn't have to be that extreme. You don't need to instill fear. You just need to drop the fear of being disliked. Start building your tolerance for being seen as wrong, selfish, or cold. Let people misjudge you and remain unmoved. Stop apologizing for having boundaries. When you become the kind of person who can be hated without losing your composure, people stop trying to push you around. They may still talk, but they'll do it from a distance, because now you're not reacting, you're watching, and that makes you dangerous. Now we come to the third weakness, the most destructive one of all, because it doesn't just make you a target, it keeps you in the cage. The addiction to peace. Most people walk around believing peace is the ultimate goal. They want everyone to get along. No tension, no conflict, no risk. They want life to be smooth, comfortable, predictable. But Machiavelli knew something most people still don't. Peace is the illusion, your soul to keep you obedient. Look at history. Most major shifts, revolutions, power grabs, empire building, they weren't born from peace. They were born from conflict, from disruption, from discomfort, and from people who were willing to risk the safety of today for the dominance of tomorrow. The addiction to peace makes you soft, passive, over-accommodating. You avoid hard conversations. You tolerate microaggressions. You swallow your rage. You say it's fine when it's not. All to maintain a fragile, temporary peace. But Machiavellian power doesn't grow in peace. It grows in pressure, in tension, in your ability to walk into conflict with calm eyes. The man who can stay composed in the middle of chaos becomes the leader. Stop making peace your default goal. Make power your goal. Learn to enter tension without trying to fix it. Just hold it. Let others squirm. Let go of harmony if it costs you self-respect. When you release the need for peace, you become untouchable. You stop fearing arguments. You stop bending to make things easy. And suddenly, people don't mess with you. Not because you're violent, but because you're not afraid of violence, psychological or social. You can walk into a room and radiate one truth. I don't need you to be okay with me. I need you to know I'm okay without you. And that right there is what separates prey from predator. Because once you remove these three invisible weaknesses, the need to be understood, the fear of being disliked, and the addiction to peace, you stop living reactively. You stop being easy to manage. You stop being a target. And then something shifts. People look at you differently. They lower their voice when speaking to you. They second-guess before, disrespecting you because now they sense something else. Not violence, not arrogance, but authority. Cold, unshakable, unexplainable authority. And that's the beginning of real power. But don't be fooled. Eliminating weakness isn't just about appearing strong. It's about becoming strategically useless to those who would feed off you, because most people don't want to connect with you. They want to extract from you your time, your energy, your empathy, your agreement. And the reason they keep getting it is because you keep giving it away without realizing what it costs. Let's go deeper into how these three Weaknesses silently manifest in everyday life, through your body language, your decisions, your responses, and how Machiavelli would coldly fix them at the root. The person obsessed with being understood is constantly leaking emotion through nervous laughter, fidgeting, over-nodding, excessive smiling, a soft tone, rapid blinking, or a defensive posture. They think they're being warm, but Machiavelli would see it for what it is: a desperate need to be liked, to be safe, to be interpreted correctly. That person is not seen as kind. They are seen as pliable. The more expressive you are, the more easily you are read. And the more easily you are read, the more easily you are played. Machiavelli's fix is to train your face to be unreadable. Speak with weight, not speed. Master the neutral stare. No smiling unless pause, intentional. No head tilting. Keep your chin level. Respond with pauses. Pauses create tension. Tension creates power. If someone can't read, whether you're angry or calm, pleased or bored, approving or rejecting, they'll treat you with caution. And that is a more powerful form of respect than any compliment ever uttered. The fear of being seen as bad is so embedded into your habits that you won't even realize it's happening. You say yes when you don't want to. You soften your tone just to sound more approachable. You constantly explain your boundaries to make them seem reasonable. You agree publicly even when you disagree privately. You hide your ambitions so you don't look arrogant. But each time you try to prove you're a good person, you prove something else instead. That you're afraid of being called a bad one. And Machiavellians sniff that out immediately, because if your identity depends on your reputation, then all they have to do is threaten your reputation, even subtly, and they own you a slight accusation, a raised eyebrow. Wow, that's cold, muttered under their breath, if that's all it takes to make you fold. You've already lost. Machiavelli would have you flip the script entirely. Be willing to be called selfish. Let them say you're cold, cruel, ruthless. Let it echo in their circles and respond with indifference. Don't defend your decisions. Deliver them, then move. The next time someone tries to guilt you for doing what's best for you, say only this, that's your opinion. And then go. Silent. No defense. No reasoning. No emotional outreach. Because the moment you stop chasing approval, the game flips. Now they chase your approval, and you'll find yourself in a position few people reach. Complete behavioral control without having to lift a finger. The addiction to peace isn't just about avoiding conflict with others, it's also about avoiding conflict with yourself. The uncomfortable truth you keep dodging, the confrontation you need to have, the habit is killing your future, the fake friend you haven't cut off, the truth you don't want to say because it'll shake the waters. Machiavelli would call this weakness something else. Strategic cowardice. Because in your pursuit of harmony, you allow decay to grow. You let others step on your name, test your boundaries, drain your energy, and you smile through it. Not because you're good, but because you're scared. Scared of losing the illusion of calm. Scared of what happens when you drop the mask. But Machiavelli would argue that chaos is where power is built. The most powerful people are the ones who willingly enter, fire, and don't flinch. True leaders provoke discomfort, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. You need to develop conflict stamina. You need to get so good at standing in the storm that people create less storm around you. Because when someone knows that, drama won't move you, that tantrums, silence, accusations, slander, none of it changes your posture. They stop, bringing that energy all together. Machiavelli's fix is to once a week do something that invites tension. Say no without explanation. Delay a reply you'd normally rush. Disagree in public. Watch how your nervous system reacts and do it anyway. Your body must learn that survival doesn't require comfort, and soon others will stop expecting you to make them comfortable because they'll know you're not here for that. You're here to move with power, not permission. These cold fixes aren't aesthetic upgrades. They're rewiring instructions. Because if you keep walking through life, trying to be liked, understood, and safe, you will never command real respect. You will always be playing someone else's game, using rules that were designed to keep you predictable, polite, and powerless. But once you pull these weaknesses out by the root, once you remove the cravings that make you manipulable, people won't know what to do with you. They'll start second-guessing their words. They'll tread lightly around your boundaries. They'll offer more than they demand, not because you said anything, but because your presence is now backed by something colder than fear and deeper than charm. It's self-possession. And once you have that, there's no script to break you, no attack that lands, no pressure that bends you. You're not playing defense anymore. You've become the frame, the standard, the unseen force that shapes the room without raising your voice. And from that place, Machiavelli would say, you're no longer a target. You're the threat. Now, let's go even colder. You've eliminated the 3 psychological weaknesses, at least in theory. But theory is safe. Theory is quiet. In the real world, pressure doesn't test your beliefs. It tests your defaults. The automatic reactions you show when the stakes rise and eyes turn toward you. That's where weakness still hides. And that's what Machiavelli would target next. Not in what you say, but in what you signal, what you tolerate, and what you fail to notice in the people around you. Because even if you say nothing, people are always watching you. They watch how quickly you laugh at a joke that insults you. They watch how fast you respond to disrespect with politeness. They watch how hard you work to win back favor after being criticized. And that's how they decide whether you're someone they need to consider or someone they can use. Let's dissect 3 tactical applications, 3 everyday behaviors that Machiavelli would coldly fix in you to eliminate your signal profile as easy prey. First is smiling to reduce tension. The smile is one of the most manipulated signals in human interaction, and for most people, it's unconscious. They smile to disarm, to appear warm, to soften the room. But Machiavelli would see it for what it is, an immediate surrender of social tension. When you smile first, especially when there's tension, silence, or uncertainty, you are telling the room, I'm here to make you feel safe. I don't want trouble. I seek approval. And in high status environments or around predatory minds, that is a death sentence, because now you've shown your hand. You've made them the authority. They are the danger, and you are signaling, please don't hurt me. Machiavelli's solution is to learn to hold a neutral face even under stress. Let others smile first. Let them break the tension. Your silence creates the space where people reveal who they are. The most powerful person in the room isn't the one who talks most confidently. It's the one who feels no pressure to perform. Comfort. The next signal most people give off without thinking is speed. The speed of response, of movement, of agreement. Someone texts you something confusing or disrespectful. You reply instantly. Someone asks you for a favor. You say sure before you've even thought. Someone tells a story. You jump in with validation, praise, or empathy, like your value depends on it. Machiavelli would shake his head, because speed doesn't look like competence. It looks like obedience. Fast reactions equal low self-ownership, and manipulators feed off this. They expect you to keep responding fast. That way they control the tempo of interaction, and by extension the power dynamic. Machiavelli's cold fixes to slow everything down. Let people wait for your response. Not just text, but in conversation too. If someone asks you a question, pause. Let the silence thicken, then speak. Slowness in speech and decision-making signals one thing: power. Because only the powerful feel entitled to wait. The weak rush, the weak scramble, the weak react. To flip the script, make them wait. Watch how fast the mask slips when they no longer control the rhythm. The third tactical weakness is over-clarifying your intentions. This is one of the most quietly ruinous habits. You say something with confidence. You stand your ground. And then 2 seconds later, you soften it with "I didn't mean it like that. I just meant," or "not to sound harsh, but," or "I hope that didn't come across the wrong way." You think you're being thoughtful. What you're actually doing is begging for safety. And once again, Machiavelli would see it instantly. To him, these clarifications are like smoke, signals from the ego. I'm scared of being misunderstood. I'm afraid of your judgment. Please still like me. And once that's detected, once your intentions are always on trial, you're now the defendant. You're not the judge anymore. You've handed over narrative control. And the more you clarify, the more unclear you look, because power doesn't explain itself. Power moves and lets others interpret. The fix is to say less and let it land. If someone misinterprets you, let them. If they ask, "What did you mean by that?" reply with exactly what I said. Let the ambiguity work for you, because once people realize you won't soften your edge to make them feel better, they stop assuming they can manage you. Now they become the ones trying not to be misunderstood. Now they explain themselves. Now they shift their tone, check their words, correct their posture. And in that reversal, you win without saying a thing. These are not tricks. They are transformations. You are no longer trying to be seen as good. You are not explaining your value. You are not sprinting to fix misunderstandings. You are still. You are watching. You are letting others overreach, reveal, react. And while they scramble to read your silence, one thing becomes terrifyingly clear to them. This person cannot be manipulated through social pressure. They don't flinch. They don't smile to please. They don't explain. They don't chase. They don't soften. And suddenly they treat you like a wild card, like something they can't quite categorize, like a risk. And that's the best category you can be in. Because in a world of puppets and pleasers, the person who shows no obvious strings becomes both feared and followed. That's how you stop being a target. You become a mirror, cold, still, and impenetrable. And whoever looks at you will only see themselves. And now, when all three weaknesses have been stripped away, when you no longer smile to calm others, no longer rush to react, no longer explain your every move, you enter the final stage, not survival, but ascendancy. Because the end goal of Machiavellian transformation isn't to just stop being prey. It's to become the force that quietly organizes the entire dynamic. The one who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't flinch, but who is still at the center of everything. Feared, respected, consulted, but rarely understood. This is what Machiavelli would call strategic opacity. You become hard to read, hard to predict, hard to move, and in a world where most people are emotionally naked, constantly explaining, defending, reacting, you become something different. Something the room has to orient around. But to lock this in, there's one final transformation. You must stop needing anything from others. Respect, approval, agreement, peace, all of it is dead weight. All of it is bait for manipulation. And when you kill that need, something terrifying happens to those around you. They no longer know how to control you. They lose the handles they used to grip. They panic, not because you've attacked, but because you've stopped being available to their tactics. So let's engrave the final 3 cold truths that seal this transformation. Cold truth number 1. Reputation is a weapon, not a mirror. Most people think their reputation is a reflection. They believe it should accurately represent who they are. So, they go out of their way to be authentic, to be real, to be transparent. They want their name to mirror their soul. But Machiavelli knew the truth. Your reputation isn't for you. It's for others, and it should be designed, not discovered. You don't want to be known. You want to be believed to be dangerous or powerful or necessary or cold or unpredictable. Whatever image gets you the leverage, that's the image you manufacture, because perception creates response, and response creates power. To wield reputation the Machiavellian way, stop correcting people's perceptions of you. Let false narratives float. Use them. Don't just allow mystery. Engineer it. Become someone who always has more going on than they let show. Seed rumors that create distance and awe. Make them guess. Make them doubt what they thought they knew. When you stop using your reputation to prove your goodness, you start using it to control the board. And suddenly people treat you based on fear of loss, not hope of gain. Cold truth number 2. The most powerful language is absence. When someone offends you and you say nothing, just stare. When someone tries to bait you and you leave the room. When someone tries to win your favor and you stay silent, that absence becomes louder than any clever retort. Because silence doesn't just punish, it forces reflection. It creates an direct emotional vacuum. And in that vacuum, the other person spirals. They overthink, regret, reinterpret. They imagine responses far worse than anything you could have said, and you never had to say a word. Machiavelli would argue that strategic silence is a scalpel. It cuts deeper than insult. It leaves no fingerprints, and it shows one undeniable truth. You are not emotionally available for their drama. You don't need closure. You don't need applause. You don't need to correct the record. Your silence is their mirror. Let them crumble in it. Cold truth. Number 3. Power isn't loud, it's chosen. The greatest mistake most people make when they want respect is this. They ask for it. They perform. Confidence. They inflate their voice, their opinions, their posture. But Machiavelli would warn that real power doesn't raise its voice. It raises the stakes. And it does that by becoming selective. Selective with words, selective with reactions, selective with presence. To become untouchable, become scarce. Stop showing up to everything. Stop responding to every jab. Stop giving your insight to anyone who demands it. Be somewhere less. And when you are present, make that presence costly. Make people work to earn your attention. Make your silence expensive. Make your approval scarce.